Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm feeling a lot better today than I was yesterday, so I wanted to come out with a bit of a longer video today. This one's going to be Syndicate Hidden Cache, and I wanted to try it with King of Beggars. So the whole point of the deck really is to hoard coin to get really big boosts off things like the Sol, the Sly Seductresses, and so forth. We have cards like Philippa and Marils for control. Obviously, there might be times where we need to spend coins, so Philippa really helps out in those instances. As a last save finisher to remove the tallest unit on the opponent's side of the board, we can go with Marils. We also have really good tempo swings in a short round. Let's say if we get to a short round 3 and we've used Passiflora already, we can just go ahead and put Savola down and get tons of points off that when we bring out the Frightener. So there's a lot of really high tempo plays. Even Jox would be a super high tempo play in this case, getting the 12 on the board right here, and it's an effective spender. So I like the top end of the deck. I've tried a couple different versions, but this one feels pretty sweet. And as far as the lower end carrying here, we have really good synergy, obviously, with the poisons for additional removal. Sol really carries in round 1. It's going to provoke a very tall punish like a Heat Wave or a Morkvarg or something really big, so that bigger plays in round 3 survive. And this deck thins out pretty well. If we're doing a thin count, we got the Raiders here, we got the King of Beggars, we got Vivaldi, and we got the Boat. So it's about as much as you need here. I don't think you need Oniromancy. I don't think you need to go the non-devotion route with this deck. I think it feels pretty comfortable, and we'll show you guys today in 5 games how it plays. I tried to include a variety of matchups, but there's only so many matchups available on the ladder right now. I think we got at least 3 factions though, which is good. So if you guys enjoy the video, drop a like, comment, let me know what you think, and we are on the road to 2K subs. We're almost there. I want to get this done by the end of the year. It's a goal of mine that I put aside over the last month, so let's make it happen. Road to 2K, let's go. Alright, and for the first game we got double crossed by Nilfgaard. This one's going to be kind of fun because they're going to be trying to clog us. We're going to be spawning tons of stuff. It's going to be kind of difficult later on, but I think we could pull through here. You'd probably want to mulligan back Jox in round 1. We don't really want to play that off the rip. And I know I don't really want to go in with the Sly Seductresses, because I don't think the play here is to play scenario round 1. Obviously we put back King of Beggars as well. Now with leader and our stratagem, it just puts Sol right where it needs to be. So automatically Boat comes out at 7, Sol at 7 is just going to go and obviously boost by 3 per turn. So Sol is going to require maybe a Yan or something pretty tall if they're running non-devotion, maybe a Heat Wave, because I don't think they have the means to remove it in 1. So we can go ahead and we can put down maybe something like a Passiflora Peach, and then we can maybe look at getting our thin package, and then we can reassess if we want to continue in the round. So I don't think we should have any problems getting out of the round. But if we stay in it too long, then we might find ourselves in a spot where they go and they remove that, and that's sort of like our win condition there for the round. But usually Sol with Peaches and a couple other bronzes takes a round. If you had to, you can even go and you can Savola in round 1. It doesn't matter, or Philippa or something like that. As long as you save like a good portion of your big plays for later on, you're good to go. Now, it gets more difficult for them here because if they take the Yen on the 14, they still got to make up 2 points, or 3 points in this case, to get ahead. So it basically puts us in a position where if we can't win the round, at least we can go and we can, you know, instigate a longer round 3 instead of getting bled in round 2. So it gives us time to collect everything that we need to go into the perfect round. So in this case, perfect example of that. And we have most of it. I don't really know how much I like the Fist Tech Traffickers in this matchup, because they can go and they can Kulo as easy, remove our cards. It's a little bit of a liability, so I like to tuck them back if I run into Double Cross or Nilfgaard that's running Spying and Assimilate and all that. And are they bleeding or bluffing? That's the real question. Thought about taking a Philippa here and like ripping the one, but I think that's like kind of a waste of a Philippa. Too early to jam Passy. But we can put a peach.
It's been a long, hard road, hasn't it?
Imagine we actually put down Scenario though, for whatever reason that would be a foul. Hand's really good. Jackal, we can just play that. So we can play our leader basically. And we have the most amount of coins that we could possibly have. Sometimes on a pass like that, I'll go and I'll fist tech a unit or my own unit or whatever just to have maximum carryover for round 3. But in this case, we don't have access to those things, and I don't think it's too important. So the hand that we have looks perfect, or close to. Let's do a deck check here. We could pull out Freak Show with the Vivaldi Bank, and King of Beggars will come out naturally. I don't want to risk mulliganing into it just because we kind of ruin the big play for us. Now notice how I didn't take leader here, because I know that when Adriano goes down, it's already considered a little bit of an overprofit, so it's going to be difficult to play Adriano next, just because we get back the coins that we spent, and we're also profiting 6 off Passiflora. So in this instance, you do play it a little bit differently, and I hope that I do take the right move, because I'm looking back on the footage, right? This isn't live gameplay, but you'd probably go in with the Slice Seductress next.
You feed them with hunger, crush them with thirst.
Okay, see?
I'll consider this my tip.
And it's crazy, I play a lot of games, right? Like when I'm showing you guys the gameplay that I do, like this is sometimes hours, if not the next day. Like I played these games last night, went to bed, and I'm talking about it this morning. So, you know, when you're used to seeing yourself play, you kind of can predict what you're going to do next. It's kind of funny. Now, here's the thing, we are in a little bit of an awkward spot because we want to spend coin. So, we might have to actually take a second off the scenario and look for a Philippa. Now, when I see something like this come down here, I'm actually very happy about it, because we can go and we can take the Philippa now on the Sly Seductress, and that'll just play for a ton of points. And then, worst case scenario, we're over profiting or we're in a bad position, we can go and we can just spend on shield. And I'd hate to do it, but that's like one of the only pitfalls that I found is coin management in a round playing scenario, but after you've got it fully executed, you're fine. And that's assuming King of Beggars hasn't been brought from deck. If you get out KOB early, then round 3 is a little bit easier. So now I know we're not going to be profiting 6 when we play this, so it'll just fill us up, and it's not going to be like an over commitment. And we've got 4 on the board right now. Every single time they play a card, guys, we're going to be getting 4 boost on our side of the playing field, and we know that that's what Nilfgaard does best, is playing tons of cards. So it's just going to get worse here. No hesitation, go down with the next one. And it doesn't seem like much, but trust me, we got a lot of game left here. The only thing I'm worried about, really, is board space. What is that, Sol? Okay. Doesn't really do a whole lot for them because they don't have Horde. And they need Horde 9 to get the full boost here, because it's not the same leader as us. So here's the thing. I know a lot of Nilfgaard decks are playing Treason, and we have 3 really good engines beside each other. So I also have an issue where I need to spend coin. It's because how are we going to get out Jacques, or how are we going to take, you know what I mean? Like, I want to just get some coin spent here. So there is consideration to click a shield in the back to sort of mitigate maybe some of the loss we would have had on a perfect Treason for them, because these are going to keep growing. So take that in mind. And I don't think we actually take tribute on the Jacques either. Just trying to decide how I want to place it, make it a little bit more difficult for them. We'll get some coin back here, and I'm looking at, okay, do we have enough room to take Savola? Do we want to take Savola? Or do we want to take Marils? You know, I think that we value punishing tall more than just making tall units, if that makes sense. But just imagine how many points they would have gotten if they would have waited with the yen and instead of taking the Sol in round 1, if they would have used it in round 3 on one of the slides or something like that. It'd be pretty nuts. I guess King of Beggars is like the best thing they can pull here. That was like a negative point bribery, really. We got 10 points off it. They got 4, 5, 6. Spend a little bit. I'm still trying to decide what it is. I think I might have to start binning cards here. Now I take melee because I know that we have to have 2 spots for Savola, so I'm relying on them either removing something or we don't take tribute. King of Beggars comes out at that point, so at least if the Jacques goes, we have a spender. What it's going to look like from here is we probably have to bin the 4P in our hand, and if we take Vivaldi, we can actually just take it for like either something to bin or just like a fist tech or something for coin.
And if I insert a needle here, what then? Do I enjoy torture?
The slides are really
Perhaps
carrying here.
a bit.
So yeah, I think for what it's worth, looking back on the play there, we could have spent maybe a few coin before we went and dove for the bank there. I feel like we lost a few points on that play, but for what it's worth, guys, the lead was so significant that I was just playing cards at this point. And I'm just splitting it up here because I'm thinking, okay, if they treason something on the back, like I don't want to make like it like a really good removal for them. Nah, we don't play that.
Nothing will stop us.
I really have respect for the opponent letting me play this one out, because usually when you get a game that's like this nice for you, it's normally never finished. Now, obviously we don't have room to take the tribute. They've got like 2, 3, 4 spying units on our side. It makes it very difficult. Plus the boat is not even wanded in this round, so and then the scenario just sits there empty at this point. So there's a lot of spaces taken up that I wish weren't. I think the peach is tall enough, so I'm going to go ahead and spend everything. We got lots of points coming off this last play, especially if they play something that procs assimilate. And sure enough, Lydia comes down. One more off the golden froth. Yeah, it's outrageous. Tallest one we have is 27. Huge win. Going on to the next game. The first game was an example of what happens when everything goes perfectly. This game is what happens when you stumble across the way. So you can see how we sort of fight back in a situation. And this one's going to be against Movement Scoia'tael. And I don't really have that round 1 that I'm super happy with right now. We got poisons, but we're playing against non-interactive. You've got, yeah, not a lot to... I'd rather use it offensively with the Ursine. Then just boost up something there. So normally we'd like a Peach or a Sol, but we don't even have access to those things, so we have to go ahead and take a Finn or something like that. And at this point, let's get Boat out there. Just make it a little bit more awkward if they use like making a bomb or something like that. There was argument though to wait until next turn to take the leader with the Flying Redanian, because if we do go and we put down the Freak Show next play, we're gonna be losing a coin.
Yeah, I work for the police. Better than working for humans.
That's not even a bad Philippa though. I'm trying to decide if I can get out of the round without having to worry about it. I'm going to see here if we can just play to 7 and leave. That's kind of the temperature check, really. And at this point, I kind of realized that I don't think we're going to be able to actually leave on 7, because in one more cooldown, Sasuke is going to be bringing out another card. So I have an idea. We go ahead and take the Cat Witcher on the back row. If we could snipe the one on the front row, perfect. You see, that was not bad. And then that kind of makes it so that if we do go in with our Ursine and we do go in with our Fistex and stuff like that, we have no problem with currency. Pushing that back's a little bit annoying. So here is where I should have passed, I think. Looking back at it after the game, I'm like, you know, like, whatever. That's the thing about Gwent, is sometimes you just get greedy, and I feel like we got a little bit greedy in this matchup. When you play good cards early on, you want to make sure they aren't played in vain, like they actually mean something. So to see a round win off it is always preferred. And in this case, Philippa was kind of something that I wanted to see a return on that investment. Now we do have the ability to go poison that out, and we're not doing too bad either.
A wee hint. Dunny jiggles.
Again, still our pass. We could have taken a pass here. We would have been safe. But you know how it is. When something's half poisoned, you don't want to just leave it.
Nose, mouth, any hole will do.
And this is kind of where they call me on it. Again, pass is sitting right there. Come on, Q. So I'm like, you know what? Forget about it. Let's just go ahead and play this here. We'll waste a coin. No worries. No need to remove that because I figured, you know, it's not doing anything. Again, pass is sitting right there.
You miss one bloody lecture on portals, and it's your life.
Kind of panicking a little bit because when the trap didn't spring up, I realized at that point that it might actually be a crushing trap. And then when I see the row get pushed back like this, I'm feeling pretty sick. So we know they're doing 10 on the back, which is nuts. Holy. They got us. We got trapped. And oh my gosh. They're up by 1 point at this point. So I panic. We can't even target anything with Morils. I was hoping for like a Jox or something to like maybe save the day a little bit. But no. Maybe even a Fist Tech. Get some big coins so that we can go and we can take that Savola tribute, but no. And this one was like as painful to play as it was to watch, trust me. But some of you guys want to see bad games. You see what I mean? We just lost uneven. I had a pass for like 4 turns and just kept going with it. And sure enough, Greed takes it. Now we're in a situation where they could pass on us, they can bleed us. I don't think I mind a bleed. I think I actually prefer a bleed as like a chance for redemption than I do a pass. But sure enough, we get the pass. So they have like a double last day situation going on. I have 2 blind eyes here, and I have Sol. So I'm going to play Sol because I think Sol gets like a heat wave or something anyways, or tall punish regardless. Or even just removed at 7 easy in round 3 in this matchup. So going into round 3, this is where we got to make up for that lost time. And this is where the amount of points that you have in this deck really shines. I don't know if we really care for Morils here because I can't imagine there being a lot of really good targets for him.
Life's short. Enjoy it.
That's painful, and even more so, looking back at this, it's like, it's a little cringe too, because I didn't need to spend leader. I didn't have to spend leader that early because we overprofited there. But with the way that things are going right here, I'm not really worried at this point, like in the game. Like, I think we're still going to be able to steal a win from them here. We can just focus on getting the other 2 Passiflora Peaches out next, and then we can get, obviously, our tributes at the end. I think that's probably the best way to go about it.
It's been a long
Now, there is some consideration to spend excess coin on maybe a shield or something like that as well. I don't remember if I did take that, but that's probably the route I would go in this case because we have ourselves in a position where
Any diamonds?
we don't need the extra currency.
No one can stop the Salamandra! No one!
Do I just not care? I guess that makes sort of sense. If we would have spent 3 there, we would have had 6, which would have put us to 8. So either way, it was a little bit annoying for coin. Putting out this many points is not bad at all.
What are you?
And fortunately, guys, that was a hideous game. I don't even want to include that game, but these things happen. This is real life. So there you go. Moving on to the next one, we have more or less like a mirror match, and you know, obviously, after playing that last game, I gotta focus on getting a little bit better sequencing, not getting caught uneven here. So play this one a little bit more cautious. I don't know how we're gonna do in the mirror match because I haven't played one yet, so this will be like the first crack at it.
No, dwarves do not qualify for childcare tax relief.
Any diamonds?
So I decided the hand that we have is probably best to contend if we play Passiflora in round 1, because a handful of slides and peaches is honestly all we've got. A thin package as well, but that's not going to take the round. Like, even if I wanted to play to 7, it's still kind of bad for us.
Moving, or I'll beat you bloody.
Life
And that actually works really well too. Fills the bank right up to 9. So then if we want to go fill up us something, we have the ability to do so, no issues. But we can always just start playing slides here, honestly. That's probably our priority.
I'll consider this my tea.
One man's battlefield is
It's
another
wild
man's
how they're able to
catch
compete with our
harvest.
scenario just now. We have to make sure the round goes on a bit longer so we can get some more value from it.
Like a good secret.
Fears already besmirched your breeches, I presume.
And it doesn't seem like much, but they have some really good answers to some of our problems here. They poisoned out one, Professor the other, and they haven't really committed as much as us at this point. Like, Professor's 12 provision, they spent a 7 provision. We're sitting at a 14 provision scenario with a couple 5s added, so we're trading. And it really bothers me, trust me, that I don't have the poison for that sea jackal. It's huge. Now what we can do is we can go and we can take that 7. The salamander is actually not bad to take because we still have horde, so we're still getting the boost on the 2 peaches, but we're also preventing a lot of points on their side of the playing field. Because they're going to poison that and transfer the poison to our peach. That's what I'm thinking. So what's it gonna be here? They go and they fill up it back, but I don't know if they accounted for the extra points we would have gotten back off the Sly. Plus now we get a couple points off the peaches. It puts us ahead and gives us a 2-card advantage. I don't think we're going to get a better situation than that, so I kind of want to take advantage of that, get the 2-card advantage, and really try and prevent them from bleeding, bring it to around 3, still card up. Much different situation than the last game we played, honestly. If we just need to pull into something good, though. If they do decide to bleed, then we're in trouble here.
They belong to me, and me alone.
That's tough. So that will definitely be a poison. Or we could try and top deck into Marils. Oh boy. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. That was pretty sweet. I felt like there was a pretty good chance we would have gotten that up rather high. I mean,
Swimming in them breeches.
the alternative would have been to just literally take a Fist Tech Trafficker and take another Trafficker, and then we would have been up, but I wanted to sort of keep that card advantage and keep the pressure. And unfortunately, I'm looking to save some coin if we want to play Saul, so it's one of those things. I know that they're going to be transferring poison to our Saul, or whatever the tallest thing we play is, if we keep it at that, so there is consideration, even though it's a Flying Redanian, to go and poison that out with one of the Traffickers too.
Same time next week.
And trying to conserve coin, because we don't need to spend more than what we need to spend.
To the gentleman with the forehead tattoo at 500.
So I wonder, are they going to be going down with the Savola combo and try and 2-0? Because if they pass here, it's 2-card advantage that we have. Sure enough, sees Savola. Beggars comes down. Huge Beggars too. 9 points. And they can go and just spend everything. I don't think that they think we're going to get the points. I'm starting to think that we're not going to get the points, but you know, we have 3 cards to do it, so it's looking pretty good. Now, we can't obviously remove anything with the Trafficker, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the self-poison here, and I'm going to get some coin back, because then it puts the soul multiplier up to 2. and then just pass on that. And then we can go ahead and we can play another bronze here, being the Renegade. And no trib because we have enough points, and we get the most carryover we can into round 3. I gotta hand it to them though, they literally cranked it, and it was very close. So it comes down to whoever top decks better, but for what it's worth, I think that they spent more than what we spent at this point. This hand looks really good. This looks like a winning hand.
We share the profits, not the work.
Be still.
We go ahead and take tribute because it's the beginning of the round, so it actually trades up if it stays.
For the sake of humankind, all non-humans must die.
What? Out of breath already?
And can they do 26 points in one turn? Nah.
Just take the whole finger.
We survived the bleed. We came back in round 3 to win the game. Pushing with Passiflora round 1 was very interesting. It seemed to pay off quite well. We got another somewhat mirror match we're going on with this one here. King of Beggars goes back. We want to take the boat mulligan as well. And so far no bricks. I don't really, yeah, let's just get a backup poison there.
You got a
Take one for
service
coin,
for
maybe
them breaches.
one self poison off a boat or something, and then or if they have a purify, we can go and play around that a little bit.
It's alright, we're alone here, just between us.
It's been a long, hard road, hasn't it?
That's just huge, playing right into it. We don't want them to keep targeting that range row too much. Let's just start playing on the melee row. And we could start to look for a way out of the round too,
Upside down again.
depending on what they play next, really. We might get value from the poisons, we might want to just wait on the poisons.
Fear's already besmirched your
And that's pretty huge, honestly. I'm being haunted by the Saskia matchup, so let's just go ahead and take the pass and look at defending a bleed in round 2. Now, I'm pretty sure actually next round I made a mistake in this game that I wasn't too happy with, but again, I'll point it out when I see it here. And it's an issue, like it's a mistake that I make with this leader more than any other leader. That's an awkward hand. I gotta say, we have an awkward hand going into what might be a bleed. Wow. So they're going for it at this point. We know that, right? And so that's what I'm talking about. Huge mistake. So I forgot that we get the coin back. And I went and I clicked the leader before I could see it tallying up. And I think that just has to come with a lack of experience playing with King of Beggars in cache, right? It's something you have to take in consideration. You have to remember is that we do not get those coins back. So it doesn't put us at 7. It actually, we over profited. So we were at 8 before, and then we got like a 1 point leader. So we lost 2 coins there. And now we don't have the flexibility of using that later on. I just wanted to get the boat out, and we're paying for it here. So when I do stuff like this and I notice I'm doing stuff like this while I'm playing the games, it's really difficult for me not to just want to hit escape, enter, move on to the next game and try to find a better game for you guys here. But at the end of the day, like, I'm probably not the only one that does this type of stuff from time to time, so it just makes sense to play it through. And that's something I'm getting used to. So I think at this point they're trying to decide if they want to go all the way or if they just want to pass at 7 and say, you know what, that's enough. Because they might feel like the card advantage actually has us in a spot where we can defend quite well, but maybe they have something really big coming up, so we'll see. No, that's the point of no return.
Just take the whole finger.
And I'm just realizing, okay,
Like some light reading.
so it's one of those things where we could potentially ruin our scenario later by playing our blind eyes now, but if we're going to see any value from these slies, we got to play them early. So taking the 2 sly seductresses and taking the Adriano might actually be the line of play, and then trying to save the other 2 blind eyes for round 3 to proc scenario, if we can even get to that point, right? So that's kind of how we have to adjust our sequencing to help defend here. And the nice part is they don't spend, so it gives us the ability to get up by 2 points if we play that without doing anything else. So we're able to establish just a little bit here. And we got Siggy coming down, so honestly at this point, yeah, let's get this going here too. It brings us ahead. King of Beggars comes out. Now we don't have to worry about that awkward play with trying to preserve coin and taking tributes. Marils can be played now.
Nose, mouth,
And we do have the means to remove the Sea Jackal, and we can go and we can remove something else. So spend 2 coin, use the Fist Tech, remove the Jackal, and then if they play like their Savola Frightener, then we can Marils the Frightener, and that's actually pretty comfortable. And then we actually have 1 up on them into round 3 because we still have access to ours, and they would have played it by then. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here.
Power, the
Okay.
Dark design.
Just take it slow. We're still ahead. Little do they know, 2 of our cards are not very good. And so that brings the tribute cost down for them by 1, so they can do it.
No prisoners!
Nothing turns my guts more than a filthy thing.
You gotta spend 1. There you go. At this point, I'm feeling pretty good, because, like, what 1 card do you have that's going to be stronger than these 2 cards? And the 2 coins that we have. Because, I mean, we can just take the tributes on both. Playing for quite a bit. Yeah, so we'll be able to make it out of this one here. Take the trib.
We too can play with fire! Oh yeah!
Nice. Clean, card advantage going into round 3. Now, we don't have the means to fully proc our scenario, but I think that the card advantage itself is going to be enough to get out of the rounds. I want to keep the Fist Tech because we need coin generation if we do pull Savola. So Leader gives us 3, Fist Tech gives us 4. I know that we have a little extra to profit with the Ursine, so we have a little bit of room here. I don't think it's worth taking a mulligan. It could just pull into something worse. So we'll go ahead and do that. Savola finisher. And I'm not taking Leader here because I learned my lesson from last round. Just don't touch it till we need it.
Slow, ain't ya? What? Out of breath already?
And that's not bad. What I want to do is I want to take it now so that when we play Fist Tech next round, we have the boat come back out. Fist Tech the 4. And do you have a ton of points? Let's see what you got. Casino Bouncers just won't be enough. You tried to bleed us in round 2, but paid the ultimate price. We got this one going. Perfect. It wasn't a pretty game, but it was a win. And that's what we're going for here. So moving on to the last game of the day, we got Skellige, we have Ursine Ritual, and honestly, I haven't really played a lot of this myself recently. I made a Berserk deck last season before it was all trendy, but with the support from Cirrus, I think that it's worth looking at playing again sometime soon and seeing a lot of it on the ladder, but there's so many different versions, it's hard to keep up with. But we just have to focus on our strategy and make sure that we can do the best we can to maximize the amount of points we're getting and not waste points. You've seen a couple times today we wasted points.
Mock not the creeds of others. It's neither polite nor safe.
Now, this looks like one of those matchups where it's going to be difficult to tempo pass on them just because they have so much tempo themselves. But we're certainly going to try and compete here. Let's get the boat out and get Saul online next turn and see how far that takes us. And trust me, I know if I had 9 coins, the Melusine would have been the perfect Philippa here, but we just don't have it.
My collection's pride. Ever witnessed anything equal?
Come on, let's go. Time to face our fears.
So they have 3 engines going on. We have 1. At this point in the round, we can't do a whole lot. I don't want them to get too much Melusine carryover, and I don't want them to tempo pass on us. So I'm thinking about just looking for a pass here at 7, and hopefully they don't pass first, because then we have to really play down and try to figure it out. So we get another commitment. We got 4 engines on the board for them right now. It's not even worth looking at taking our poison. It's just it's over. Like, we're out of the round. Go ahead and pass here. And at least we get some coin carryover so that if we're trying to defend a bleed, we have a little something to work with. Poisons aren't bad. I don't think we need both the renegades.
Seen it all already. And then some.
I think I have to respect that. The Fearless, we take that. That's the new card I was talking about that has a lot of new support for the archetype. To be able to heal something fully and damage something by the amount that you healed is wild, because then you're proccing the berserk effect of something else. It's pretty nuts. In worst case, you don't have anything you can hit. You can just hit like a 1 or something, like a token.
I suppose. And the end.
Let's not get in the way of me.
Gonna see if we can maybe pull off a combo with Cirrus for ourselves. Alright, we gotta respect that. We gotta respect that tempo for sure. I'd be pretty upset if we get a pass here, though. Or a heat wave.
You got a sea beast swimming in them breeches.
So I could probably put down the Sly here. Or a Fist Tech. Kind of worried about the Burna coming down. Holy crap, eh? So we poison it, they go ahead and take value away from our poison. Couple different lines to look at. So we either finish our poison or we try and take out the Melusine right now.
Premium grade.
Finishing the poison allows us to have them damage their own stuff one more turn at least, and then we can sort of plan to remove it. I don't think we're gonna get a better chance.
Make way! Move it!
Here, let's take that off the one side. So the veteran's not gonna heal itself for some time, so we have a turn or so. But I think now it's the drawing line of this with the Draco Turtle coming out. That's just bad.
The eternal fire casts a long shadow.
So they're just going straight for that 2-0, aren't they? I don't think they needed to use the leader charge there on the veteran, but it's fine. We need a miracle here. 2 coin means 7, means tribute, means saved.
I want to see corpses! Corpses everywhere!
We had to high roll there because we're in a really bad spot. Like, the tempo they have is just crazy. But I'm feeling like at this point, we're probably going to be able to get out of the round at least. Unless they bring back Melusine, then it's just over. But him, that's interesting. That was pretty cool. So after all that, we could just go ahead and play one card. I feel like the slide's going to be a little bit less valuable in round 3. This is just to show you guys basically you can do that. That's pretty cool. So does the deck run Sigdriff's right? Are they going to try and bring back the Melusine? That's a very important thing to know, because if they can, then that's really, really not good for us. Like, it could be a losing condition for us.
I must act, no matter the price.
Start off with Jacques here, kind of assess what's going on.
Hey, listen here. Listen well.
My fist takes purest tears, purest in all nothing.
And then that helps us just get the boat out. Again, no need to bluff a poison when we can actually just use the poison to get points back for ourselves. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, I think we have a good shot at this game, for sure. Let's go ahead and take that. So if it's Melusine, it's Vildkarl. And wasted charge in round 2, didn't let round 3 happen. It is what it is. We'll see you guys tomorrow.